This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp Podcast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. Throughout the year, we join you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we gather here, around the virtual campfire. We have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, like wows and joke of the day. We have interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you've joined us. This is Pog-Cast episode 9. We're talking with Honey about bringing positive changes to the world. At Gold Arrow Camp, we really and truly believe that one of the most powerful things camp does is to empower young people to make a difference in the world. Over the last several years, we've worked hard to develop summer themes that help to do that. We've talked at camp about kindness, helping others, gratitude, grit. All of those character traits help young people to develop in ways that allow them to believe they can change the world. And we know that changing the world doesn't have to be a big project. You can change the world by doing something small. So today, our challenge to you is to do one small thing that makes the world a better place. Perhaps you pick up some trash or smile at someone who looks sad. Maybe you sit at a table at lunch you don't normally sit at, or help someone at school to make a friend. When we all work together, we make the world a better place. And that's something that we can all believe in. And now we reach that point in the program where I read to you some wows. Wows are, of course, shout-outs to people who have done awesome things. You just want to say hi to them. You can email wow@goldarrowcamp.com, or you can hashtag GACwow on Instagram or Twitter. I want to be honest with you, a little short on wows. If you want to send some in, that'd be great. This one, wow to Turbo. Great work getting the yearbook done, from Glitter. Wow, Slim. I'm so proud that you moved to Fresno to start a new adventure. It's from Bean. And wow to Grizzly. Grizzly came to visit. He was a great big help around the house. I really appreciate that. That's from me, Soy. And those are the wows for this episode of the podcast.
We have some poems for you. I like poems. We like to start off Poetry Corner with some well thought out haikus.
And now we're back yet again with some camper haikus here on the POCO. This one from Morgan Stosic. Sailing in our boat, waves splashing up on the side. Oh no, capsizing. And this one from Madeline Ben, also about sailing. Speeding down the lake, captain of my little ship. I would sail all day. Honey, Honey, and Honey's on the podcast.
Woo!
Welcome to the podcast, Honey.
Hey, it's good to be here.
I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Good. All right, so it might be hard to believe, but not everybody knows who you are and what you do for camp. So could you tell us a little bit about how you came to be at camp and what you do for camp?
Sure. I have been at camp now for 4 summers. I've done 2 full summers and then 2 little short-term stints here and there. And I came to camp when I was in college. Sprinkles is actually the one who brought me. We went to school together and are really good friends. And she told me about Gold Arrow. And so my first 2 summers, I was a Bears GC. And then the last 2 summers, I have kind of done a little bit of admin stuff similar to what Cheerio does, and scheduling and reading wows and helping out wherever is needed in the office and that kind of fun stuff.
Awesome. What do you do when you're not at camp? So for the rest of the year, when it's sad times, what do you do then?
Yeah. So I used to teach. I was taught 4th grade for 3 years. And last year I was working on my master's degree at University of Michigan, Go Blue, full time. And this year I am working at an education nonprofit called the Achievement Network in Detroit.
And so what does the Achievement Network in Detroit do?
So the Achievement Network helps schools get better performance for their students. So they coach principals and instructional coaches, and they help teachers by offering professional development as schools transition into Common Core. They help give benchmark tests to schools and then break down all the data with schools and that kind of stuff. So for them, I actually do a lot of the event planning and logistical stuff.
Ooh.
So
You're speaking my language. Logistical planning is the song of my people.
Logistics and operations.
Right?
That's what I do.
All right. Well, I think that's a nice segue for us. This episode, we're talking about one of our core values, which is that camp prepares you to bring positive change to the world. Mm-hmm. How do you think camp has helped you bring positive change to the world?
Yeah. A great thing about camp, I think one of the biggest ways it influenced me was the positive energy there. And part of why camp is so special and awesome is because everyone's so happy and positive all the time. And so for me in the real world, I try to really emulate that and keep that going. And I find that people often respond really well to that. And so I really work hard to whatever team I'm working on or whatever setting I'm in to kind of bring that to the culture.
Sure.
And then a lot at camp, I think as a counselor, I learned a lot about putting others before myself, because that's what you do as a counselor. And I learned how rewarding that can be. And that's something that I really enjoy doing. So in my own personal life, or in my work life outside of camp, I have tried to find roles that allow me to do that, to put others before myself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beside that, how do you think camp can inspire young people to make positive changes? So you're obviously, I'm not going to call you old because that would be unkind, but you're not a camper anymore. You're not like 6 to 14 in that neighborhood. So how do you think camp inspires campers to make a positive change in the world?
I think camp definitely builds a very supportive environment and really teaches kids that it's awesome to step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you might not be comfortable with, or just to be silly and goofy and to support one another in doing that kind of thing. Some of my favorite things about camp is that people who have little hidden talents or maybe things that they're just passionate about, they can go big at camp with them because everyone is so supportive. And I think a lot of kids learn that it's really awesome to be supportive and encouraging to other people, and hopefully take that home with them and how they treat their classmates and their friends and their family, just in being encouraging and kind to one another.
And it's true, I think, that those little acts of kindness make a big positive change in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you start surrounding yourself, when you find your people, at camp, we're all like that. When you find that in the real world too, it can make a huge difference in the day-to-day existence of life.
Right.
So.
It's that choice to be positive and make somebody else's day a little bit better.
Exactly.
Big
and
change comes out of that.
Yeah, for sure. So.
You talked about it a little bit, but what things from camp do you use daily in your life every day?
Ooh. Let's see. So I'm a really silly person.
Sure.
And I think camp helped me be okay with being just being authentically myself and just being silly all the time. And so, for example, Halloween is coming up, and on Friday it is. And I work in an office with all adults who take work very seriously, which is important to take your work seriously, but not too seriously. And so we are going to be playing, they don't know this yet, but we're going to be playing the Oreo on the forehead game.
Yes.
Yeah. So I bought some Halloween themed Oreos, and we're going to play games like that. So I think for me, camp just taught me to enjoy life and not be too serious, and to be silly and have fun. And I know people in my office are going to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but also what camp taught me is it's fun to step outside of your comfort zone kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
and
how
it brings
we grow.
people together. That's right. That's how we grow. So I think it's just one of the biggest things camp has taught me is just to really be comfortable in my own skin, and it's okay to be a goofball.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about the Instagram elephant in the room. If people follow camp on Instagram, they saw a picture this summer. It was easily the most popular Instagram post, I think, in the history of Gold Arrow Camp. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, you probably should, because then you could look at a picture of you getting proposed to by a former staff member named Blondie on the big campfire stage. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was crazy. So I actually just saw all of, like a quick side note, I'll answer that question. I just saw all of Blondie's family. So Blondie's actually from Canada originally. He grew up in Michigan, but is Canadian. And we were in Canada visiting all of his cousins and relatives this weekend. And one of his cousins told me the way he found out about the engagement was on Instagram, but not even by following Gold Arrow Camp. It was on, like, you know, the search feature where it just shows like random people and random things you don't even follow. That like popped up because there were so many likes on it. And he was like, wait, I think that looks like Brandon or Blondie, my cousin. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So, but for the actual proposal, I like kind of had an idea, but I had no clue that it was going to be happening like then at Appreciation Campfire and on stage. And it was insane and really awesome. And I'd always told Blondie never to propose to me in front of a lot of people. But I'm so glad he did it the way he did it. And I'm so grateful there were so many cameras and they got it all on video, because the energy was so insane that I really like did not process what he was saying so much. So it's been great to go back and watch it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it was awesome. It's probably one of my favorite memories in my entire life so far.
I think it got very dusty. I don't know I know Swag had a similar problem. Very dusty. My eyes were watering. Somebody's cutting onions. It was.
Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people, the dust in the air.
It got all stirred up by the clapping, and then there was the tears just ran. It was pretty special. It's a great picture. You look so surprised. It makes me so happy thinking about it.
It is. I still smile like when I tell people the story, and I still watch the video.
It's so good. Maybe we'll put it. I'll tell you what. We'll put the picture in the blog post that goes with this podcast so that people can see it.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, let's do the speed round. Some questions that everybody who comes on the podcast gets to answer.
Okay.
Here they come. Honey. Cool. What is your favorite Repeat After Me song?
Ooh, my favorite Repeat After Me song. The Great Big Moose.
That is so popular with people. People love a juicy moose.
It's so good. I used to do that song a lot when I was teaching with my students, and they would get real into it. The moose on the loose in the end is like the best part. So
it's got a good ending.
It's a really good one.
What's your favorite salad bar item?
Probably, this summer, and I don't know, maybe this has been there before, there were sweet potatoes occasionally in the salad bar.
It was new this summer.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And so, like, if I'm going to go with a standard item, probably just, like, spinach. I love spinach. Sure. I have spinach almost every day. It's good for you.
It is. It's great for you.
It's great for you, yeah. But the sweet potatoes were like an extra treat, and they weren't always there. So when they were there, they were like extra special.
When they showed up, it was like a victory for everybody. And they were like, we got just raw sweet potatoes, and they roasted them. Oh, they were so good.
So good. Lots of vitamin A.
It's really, and considering how fast they were consumed, I think many people felt the same way.
Yeah.
What's your favorite chapstick flavor?
My favorite what flavor?
Your favorite lip balm flavor, chapstick.
Oh, probably the Monkey Mountain Mint, right?
Oh, absolutely. Big hit this summer. Monkey's Mountain Mint. People loved it.
I think I'm partially biased just because I loved that band so much.
It was a one night only kind of event, but that's the feedback they got was that they were very good.
They were awesome. So now I think I could only use that chapstick moving forward.
It's a limited edition, so you'll have to kind of parcel it out a little bit at a time. Yeah. And finally, marshmallows or popcorn?
Ooh. So popcorn.
Okay.
But also sometimes it's fun to get marshmallows and put them in the popcorn tin and let them melt over the marshmallow or over the popcorn. Yeah.
Whoa, that is a GAC hack right there. That is powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get kind of like a gooey, marshmallowy, popcorny goodness.
Yeah, it kind of is like a Rice Krispie. It's got that melted marshmallow, got the popcorn. Yeah. So normally I'm like not a huge popcorn person, but there's something about the popcorn made over the fire at camp that I really.
Yeah, I can't do like microwave popcorn and that stuff, but at camp, suddenly popcorn seems very good. All right, last question for the podcast. What's your real name? I'm so sorry. We're all out of time. No time on the podcast for your real name this time. We'll have to do it the next time we have Honey on the podcast. Honey, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, it was so great. Thanks for having me.
Why is it called Joke of the Day if it's not funny?
One of the highlights of summer 2016 was a visit from Ross Jameson from Jameson Ranch Camp. Ross is great at a lot of things. He can lead songs, call square dance hoedowns. He can even wrangle cattle. But I was most impressed by Ross's wood carving ability. So I asked him, I said, Ross, how did you learn to carve wood? And he said, whittle by whittle. And now, it's time for another GACspiration with Sunshine.
This week's GACspiration comes from John Wooden. Worry about your character, not your reputation. Character is who you are, and your reputation is who people think you are. Well, that brings us to the end of yet another GAC Pog-Cast. I want to thank Honey for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed that conversation. I hope you did too. I want to thank Sunshine for reading that GACspiration. I want to thank Morgan Stosick and Madeline Ben for contributing haikus to an old haiku contest that I went digging through to find haikus for the Poetry Corner. And I want to thank you for listening to the podcast. The podcast is only great when you listen. If you like it, rate, review on iTunes, send us a message. You could email wows to wow@goldarrowcamp.com, or you could just hashtag them, #GACWow on Twitter or Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast. I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.